the part of the 75-day challenge that a lot of people don't talk about is the reading part. I'm starting out with Feeding the Soul because I already have Feeding the Soul in my mini library of books that I have. I will be using my Dallas Library card. I have some books on hold. They say when you're doing the 75-day challenge, you should like more so go for nonfiction, right? I love a good fiction book. I can like lay up and curl up to a good fiction book. I have been trying to get out of like overreading self-help books because I'll go down a rabbit hole and I'll start trying to fix every aspect of my life, and then I'm wondering, why is this not going right? Should I be waking up at 5 a.m.? All that, like Atomic Habits and what's the other popular one? Uh, don't give a F. What is it? Damn. I actually read that book and I didn't care for it. I didn't care for either of those books. I forgot the name of that book. Anyways, so I've already started reading this, and I want to talk about it a little bit. She's in this beginning part of this book. She's talking a lot about focusing on your own passions. When's the last time you sat down and wrote down what are you the most passionate about, without thinking about what other people would think of you? Like, what is it that you're the most passionate about? You like sitting down and making that list of what you're most passionate about, right? And just like, what is it that how can you be your true authentic self when you show up, whether it's like making content or just showing up in the world in general? Like, do you find yourself trying to be someone else, or are you that person that's going to wear and do the things that you want to do without having society tell you what you should be doing? I'm like so guilty of trying to see what other people are doing. Thankfully, I don't do too much of what other people are doing, but I am kind of guilty because I do own a Stanley Cup, well, a dupe. But I do own like last year I went and got one of those a dupe Lululemon bag that goes across. Would I have chosen that for myself if it wasn't a popular thing? Probably not, right? And so anyway, so she talks about having faith, and that is something that I really struggle with. I really struggle with having faith. It is something that is huge on my 2025, but since I'm getting started early on working on my 2025 now, I want to have more faith. Like, if I could put that at the top three things that I want to have in my life, is to have more faith. I want to have more faith in things in my life like I have in my fitness journey, because to me, when it comes down to fitness, I feel like I have control over fitness. I feel like I can say to myself, okay, I'm going to work on these deadlifts, and one day I'm going to be able to pick up 400 pounds, right? I can work towards that. But when it comes down to things that I have no control over, that is very hard for me when it comes down to faith. And I guess that's what faith is, right? Things that you don't have control over, and you have to trust and believe that they will happen for you, right? So she talks about faith, and she also talks about being of service to other people. And I think when a lot of people think of being of service to people, they think about like, it's Thanksgiving, I'm gonna go and serve the homeless food, right? Or I'm gonna give this person that's asking for money on the street, I'm gonna give them some money, right? But you gotta kind of dig a little deeper than that, because you could be, I personally think that I'm of service to people almost every single day by simply complimenting. I know it sounds very small, but like, I have it in my mind that a small me telling somebody something nice, something random and nice, acknowledging that they exist, is like, that to me is like giving of service, without it being something that I'm thinking about, like, oh, let me do this thing. Like, no, I just genuinely, naturally do it without a second thought. I know for a fact that I can look at anybody and I can think of something positive to say to them or ask them or whatever, right, to brighten their day. I feel like that's a superpower that I have. Anyways, finding our way to joy, love, and freedom. I'm digging this book so far. When I'm reading it in her voice, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care for her voice that much. Now, don't hate me now, but I'm not a huge fan of her voice. I think she's a very sweet woman. But when I'm reading this, it's kind of hard for me to not read it in her voice. But I do think so far that this is a good, like, nonfiction book for me to start off with. If you have any recommendations for my next book, let me know.